So yesterday, there was a little issue with me watching Food Wars. When I was watching the episode, the subtitles were completely messed up. I come to find out later this morning that the reason why the subtitles were messed up was because of how they used the subtitles from apparently the OVA of Food Wars instead of the subtitles for the actual episode. I'm just like, I mean, human errors, they happen. I mean, that's a common thing, but oh my god, just like, there was one scene in the episode to where Soma legit was talking about a toilet while making his declaration to Azumi. It's saying, let's do a Shokugeki, and I'm just like, okay, what? Just like the way everything was done, I was laughing. I was laughing a lot just because of how awkward some of the subtitles were compared to what was really going on the screen. But okay, with all that out of the way though, this episode of Food Wars, oh my god, I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't hyped. Like, seeing Soma's father arrive in the Dojima as well, and they're just, they're bickering in this episode, and then they're going up against each other in arena, and, Soma are working on the same team. Takumi and Megumi, they're also working against Soma as well. I'm just like, this is a pretty hype episode. Like, oh my god, I'm pretty excited to see what's gonna happen next just because of the way this episode was written. So let's get right into that. So the events of last week's episode, obviously, a lot of people got expelled. They're gone. They're gone for now. And the whole goal right now with the story is to have it where Soma, Arena, Takumi, and Megumi, they face against the Elite 10 to get their spots. For they can, get people back that were expelled and also set the school back on track to be like it once was. That is the objective right now. So in terms of the direction of the plot, there is some twist, but in reality, though, it's pretty much what many of us would expect it to go. For instance, using a Shokugeki to get them back. But the difference in this time around is that instead of it just being a 1v1 Shokugeki that we've seen every single time throughout the series, it is now a team-based Shokugeki, which mixes things up quite a bit, especially with what was established with this episode. See, when we think about everything that's happened prior to this episode, Shokugekis have always been 1v1, who is a better chef, who is able to display their food better, and then, these judges, they vote on it. We've seen this many, many times throughout Food Wars, and we have never really had anyone work with the chef. It was always a solo thing. And now with this team-based Shokugeki, that's a rare tradition popping up, each individual people that are part of the Shokugeki on each team, they can help each other out while working on their dish. So example, they would be able to work on each other's own dishes, going back and forth, and then, also work on their dishes as well, and then they go up against each other. So they're still going up against like 1v1s, but they're also helping their allies out to be able to prep their dishes. So in a lot of ways, they could spend a lot more prep time on working on something that could take a lot longer. For example, something that could normally be done in about an hour with one person, if they have, let's say, 2 people or 3 people that could speed up the process, they may be able to get something done in about 30 minutes, which makes it to where certain exotic dishes that take a lot of time, prep time, can be done in this team-based Shokugeki. So I am fascinated by the rules. I'm curious on how it's going to exactly be done and who is really going to be going up against who, but the main thing it really comes down to is teamwork. That is what's going to decide this team-based Shokugeki. Obviously, our main cast of characters, Takumi, Megumi, Soma, Arena, even though Arena is kind of like a new addition to the team-based stuff, at the very least, she knows how to work with a team. But when it comes to the Elite 10, when you look at all the individual Elite 10 members, most of them are pretty, they're solo, they're loners. They don't really like help from others. They pursue their own dishes, what they want to do. They don't rely on anyone else to help them. And so when you think about it, I feel like the Elite 10 members that are going to be going up against Soma and his group are probably going to fail just for the sole fact they cannot work together at all. For instance, the main Elite 10 member, the number 1 spot, as we know, he was someone that had to work on his dishes. He was the only one that could work on his food. If anyone else touched it, he would feel like it's not perfect. So, obviously, he's an individual that would not allow anyone to help him out in a team-based Shokugeki, which in turn will cause, him to fail in the end. But since it's a team-based, actual Shokugeki. So I do like the fact that what's really going to decide this is not necessarily skill. It's mainly going to be teamwork. Who is a better team that can compare against the opposing team? But okay, so leaving that aside for a moment though, let's talk about Soma's father and also Dojima popping up in this episode. So yeah, I did not think that would happen. Like, the way he just appeared out of nowhere, and he was behind Soma, put his hand right on Soma, I'm just like, yo, what? Like, what the hell? He just appeared out of nowhere, and I mean, Soma was having an epic moment. He's like, instead of being dirty and all that, cheating and stuff, why don't you have, a Shokugeki with me? And, let's have a Shokugeki and all that. Let's determine who gets expelled or not. And he's like, why would I do that? Of everything, like, there's nothing you could offer me that would make me want to do a Shokugeki with you. And obviously, Soma's father pops up, and he evens the playing field. And this is kind of what Azumi has wanted the entire time. He's wanted to prove to Soma's father that he was wrong, and he wants him to change his ideals. So this is kind of like speeding up the process. So in the end result, let's just be real here. Most likely if Azumi does lose, which technically he has to since he's the big bad, he mainly lost because of his greed. He got greedy. He wanted to rush his, his plan. He should have probably have played the long game since he's already waited many, many years. He should have probably waited the long game until he decided to mess with stuff or try to rush it, doing this Shokugeki. Because I'm going to assume the reason why he's going to have a downfall is because he decided to rush. If he did not accept the Shokugeki, he would have probably won in the end. His ideals and all that would have won. That entire scene, though, epic. I just love how it perfectly represents Soma and Reina's relationship, how Soma's there for his friends, but also how Soma's father comes in as well, and he's like, look, it's time for us adults to settle this and all that. Let's prove for once and for all who really is right with their ideals and all that. And so you have it to where Soma's father comes in and he's like, let's do this. I will offer up my ideals, my own freedom of a chef and all that, and close down my business if I lose. And then also, if we win, though, obviously you have to go away. You have it to where the school goes back to normal, and everybody that was expelled can come back as well. So, just with everything the way it's being done, I'm pretty excited for the story right now, because that cliffhanger for this week's episode, I'm just like, yo, I need more. I definitely need more. So, let's get right into that. So, Megumi is having to go up against Soma. I never would have thought I would see the day. It really proves how much she has developed as a character, because if you back up, Megumi was always someone that was in Soma's shadow. She has proved that she can do her own thing, but she has kind of always been that wingman to Soma, helping him out and progressing him as a chef. And now seeing her completely going up against Soma, even if it is a mock match, I find it very fascinating, because it will show how much Megumi has progressed, and will she be able to hold her own against someone even like Soma, which is an exceptional chef, and Arena as well. Now, speaking of which, just like Arena is working with the very person that she idolizes, and I'm like, why do I have a feeling like this is probably going to make her start to develop feelings for Soma? She has love for Soma's father, so she directs that love over to Soma, since they're very similar in terms of personality, which we could see from Dojima and Soma's father's fight in this episode. Then I feel like she's probably going to navigate those feelings over to him once this is settled. But that's pretty much about it when it comes to this week's episode of Food Wars, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this week's episode, let me know in the comments below. If you dislike this episode, also let me know. Please be safe, stay healthy. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. Chibi out.